Hello.
Hi, Karthik.
Hi. Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you, Karthik, for making me part of your podcasting journey.
Thank
I'm
you.
really proud of you for a lot of things you are handling so well, and learning new things on your way, and
Mhm.
getting a lot of extracurricular stuff. To learn and execute and all those things. So that's very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you've been a teacher of mine for the past 7 years, and you are the co-founder of Naada Vinoda, correct?
I'm the only founder.
Oh, you are the founder. Okay.
I am the founder.
Not the co-founder. Okay.
No, I am the founder, but we are two faculty members. So
Okay.
I started the academy legally
Mhm.
in 2014. Um,
2014.
it doesn't mean that I started teaching then, but
Right. You've been
I've
teaching
been
many
teaching
years
for a
before
long
that. Yeah.
time, but very less number of students.
Right.
Only people who actually have come to me asking me to teach them. So it wasn't a profession in those days. Um,
And
I
now
was
it's
working.
now it's a
I
legally
was working
registered
elsewhere.
company.
Yeah, I was working elsewhere and just teaching as a passion. Yeah, as a passion. But then I started getting a lot more requests and a lot of people coming to me asking me to teach and all that. So well, I have become a little bit more free on the time that was available to me because my kids have grown up,
Mhm.
so I had more time on my hands. um, and looking at the number of requests asking me to teach their kids, so I
Right.
decided, okay, well, I guess this is the time in my life to make it as a full-time profession, not just singing alone. Of course, I've been a professional singer since 94,
Mhm.
but as a teaching professional, I just wanted to, okay, well, let me start doing it for the teaching as well. So
Yep.
that's when I started LLC. It's a business,
Yeah.
it's a legal business.
Hmm.
um, 2014.
And before that, what made you want to start teaching? Before you took the teaching into a company level, what made you start teaching in the very beginning? Was I know it
Well,
was a passion. You said it was a passion, but
in
is
the
there any like
beginning it
follow
was
up on that?
in the beginning it was a passion. Well, I think I come from a family of teachers.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was a teacher all his life, of course not music, but by profession he was a he teacher, retired as a lecturer in a college. Um, and before that, even my uh, you know grandfather, great grandfather, they all have been teachers. So I guess teaching is in my blood. And of course, on my mother's side, my grandfather, not mother, grandfather, was an elementary school principal. So he was a
Principal.
teacher too. So it just teaching is something that was in me, and as a professional, I taught as a substitute teacher in public schools too.
Mm-hmm.
So teaching is always with me.
Right.
And of course, I in music, I started teaching my two daughters first. Uh, they were my first students. So I used to teach them at home. When they started singing in, friend circle and, functions and stuff like that, people heard, and then they started approaching me. That's how this music teaching started.
So what caused you to start music in the first place? Besides
Oh,
teaching, how did was it you were signed up in classes and you had no
oh
choice but
yeah.
to go, or
Well, before I made music teaching as a profession, I was a professional singer myself.
mm-hmm.
Uh, like I said, it's since 94, in 1994 in US. Um, but I have to say the same answer. Music is in my genes. Uh, you know, I started learning classical music at the age of 4.5 before I was even put in school. Because my mother, is an excellent singer. My grandmother, my mother's mother, grandmother, and my mother's father, grandfather, all children that were, blood related to my grandparents, they all are singers. Everybody in my
Wow.
mother's side, everybody on my mother's side is a singer.
So it's a
So
musical
singing came
family on that side.
yeah, yeah. So on my mother's side, singing is in our lineage. Um, and of course, how did I get into learning classical music is all because of my mother. She, even though she sang so beautifully, she was never trained classically. She always wanted to learn classical music, but didn't get a chance, an opportunity to learn because she was a middle child of 10 kids.
Wow.
So she never had opportunity to learn. So when myself and my sister came along, she wanted us to learn classical music. So she put me in classes first because I'm her firstborn. So that's how she was the main reason why I started learning classical music. At the age of 4.5, you would know what to do, right? It's because of parents. So she's the only reason why I was blessed to start classical music.
So on the mother side, everybody is musicians, singers, and on the father side, everybody is a teacher. So now you're a music teacher.
That's right.
Um, so are there any people in the music industry that have inspired you when you were starting, or when you have advanced after a little bit and you started doing performances and things like that?
Yeah, yeah. I think I would say at the age of 8, I think until that time of your life, you really don't look up to somebody. I don't think you have enough maturity to look up to somebody. Until then, it's very common. You tend to think about, oh, this is a great singer. Oh, well, I love that voice. I love this song. I think that around that age, you probably come across somebody that will inspire you. So same thing happened to me. I think I was about 8. Um, and also, my first classical music debut was at the age of 8.
8.
Yeah. So I did that in our own village during our Tyagaraja Aradhana festivals.
So your first like
So
stage performance, your first actual performance in front of other people
yeah,
for a
we
classical
sang for
was at
2 hours.
the age of 8.
Yeah, we sang for 2 hours. That was my classical debut. I'm saying we because my sister and I, we used to learn together. The Tyagaraja Aradhana festival in our village used to happen like in a 3 days course. So 3-day festival. So we sang on the first day prime time. So that was our first debut, right? And then after our concert, there was the main event of the evening. By the concert, it was by none other than Srirangam Gopal Ratnam, and she is a fantastic, phenomenal classical singer. So we sang. We finished our 2 hours singing, and then went into the audience, and like in the second row, we 2 seats were reserved for us because we sang that day. So we sang in the, and then we went and sat in those 2 seats. Okay, and it so happened there was a lady sitting right next to me. Okay, and I didn't know who it was. At the age of 8, how would you know? In those days, no photographs, no communication, no social media, and not knowing is a common thing.
Right. I think I can kind of see where this is going.
Yeah. So the lady next to me was Srirangam Gopal Ratnam. She was
Yep.
just waiting.
That's
She
what I
was
was
just waiting
thinking.
there. Yeah. So and she looked at me and said, "You sang really nicely. You have a great future ahead of you. I can see it." And then, that's the blessing I received from her. And I didn't know who it was. Okay. And I said, I didn't say anything. You don't say thank you, and you don't, you really don't know what to say at that age. All I said was, namaskaram. A polite way of, acknowledging, I guess. And then she said, don't ever stop singing. Don't ever stop singing. Keep learning, practicing, and then performing. And I said, I will. Of course, by that time I was already enjoying music, right? Learning music and singing music. And I already has become a habit and then something, a passion. So I said, no, I will never stop singing. So, and then, that's where it ended. That's all she said. And then within like 10 minutes, they called her and she got up, went to the stage and sat down and sang for 3.5 hours. You could imagine the excitement that just went through my veins. And ever since I started following her, I mean, wherever I hear her, name, wherever I hear her singing on the radio, in those days, radio was the only medium. We didn't even have a TV at that time, not in our village, but radio was very dominant. So I used to listen to her all the time on the radio, and whatever she sang, I used to follow. And she's my inspiration for classical music.
Mm-hmm. So that was probably like a shocking moment. Like,
oh yes, yes. I was so excited. I can't even explain it even today. Whenever I talk about this situation, I get goosebumps.
So what was it like singing before you saw her and before she said you sang well? What was it like singing your first stage performance there?
Well, obviously we both were nervous, my sister and I, but excited to sing. I'm talking about that particular debut concert. But our teacher was sitting right behind us. So that was a comforting thought. So he was there doing the tambura for us. So, it's just something that was well prepared. He taught us well. He prepared us really, really well. And we pulled it through without any problems. And of course, we had practices with the instrumentalist, that came from our nearby town, Rajahmundry. And this happened like one whole month. So we had about like around 6 sessions with them. So we were well prepared. Of course, our guru was a phenomenal teacher. So he made sure all his students were taught really, really well, and he taught it with the devotion. And I acquire that good character from him. I think of teaching as a divine process. There is divinity in teaching. Because whatever you are passing on to the next generation. So the art keeps on going, the music keeps on going. So that's how I look at it.
And how did you come to the United States?
By marrying Dr. Jagan Sastry.
How did you marry Dr. Jagan Sastry?
Well, it's not love marriage. Okay, I can't even say it's an arranged marriage. We are actually related. He is my Atta's son. So in Telugu we say Baba. So when I was born, apparently my grandpa said, "Oh, Jagan has his wife set." That's how we were married.
That's it?
That's it.
The day you were born. And that's how you came to the United States as well.
The day I was born, I was committed. Yeah, a lot of things, things don't happen. A lot of times things don't happen, but it happened in our case. So I always grew up thinking that he'll be my future husband. That's it.
So were there any difficulties when you were learning classical music, or
Oh
were there?
yeah, lots of times. Good thing about learning from my teacher. I have to say his name now and pay my tribute to him. His name is Syed Pacha Sahib. He is a native of our village in West Godavari district. The village name is Gutala. He lived there all his life and taught music. That's it. He taught music to the kids around our village. In the village, people used to come to our village to learn classical music from him. And other than that, he used to have some land for farming, and that's about it. And he started a full-fledged registered music college in our village, and had other than him, he trained his senior teachers used to teach in the school.
A college, as
So
in like you can get a music degree from his
you can
school?
get a degree through our college. Yeah, college in the
Oh,
sense it's a
wow.
school. Pathasala. Pathasala means it's a school,
Okay.
like Manabadi, Terugubadi, like that. So it's a school, registered school, and he used to prepare several students for getting all kinds of certificates and diplomas. Music diploma is like bachelor's degree. So a full-fledged music teaching professional. So he was very strict in his teaching style, but at the same time he never scolded any of his students. Never a harsh word. And in our case, he used to come to our house to teach because that was the request my grandfather made to him when he was approached to teach us. He agreed to that. So I tell this to all my students. He used to come knock on our door around 5:45 in the morning. Okay, we were still sleeping at that time.
5:45?
Yes,
Recently, for
5:45
like the past month or something, I've been waking up consistently at 9, with an exception of today. But
Yeah, he used to come every single day around 5:45, knock on the door. Okay, the only exception that we didn't have class was Sunday. Sunday
Sunday.
was the only break. Every day of the week, he used to come and knock on the door. My mother used to open the door, and then she would spread the mat on the floor, and she would give both of our notebooks to him to write the lesson. And then he would be writing the lesson. She would rush, wake us up, and make us brush our teeth and drink warm milk with black pepper and honey, and then sit down for class. That's it. And that music session used to go on for an hour to hour and a half.
Oh, right. You were telling me that back then it didn't have to be a set time. However long the lesson takes until the lesson is over, that's how long the class goes.
Yep. So minimum an hour, and sometimes an hour and a half, even hour and a half, 45 minutes. and then after we were enrolled in elementary school, literally we used to ask him, sir, it's getting to be a time to go to school. We said, yes, I know. I'll let you go. So that's how it used to be. And one of the things that my sister and I, we used to think, I don't know, he's so so strict, and why does he always teach us only 2 lines of new lesson and then make us sing all these old ones over and over and over again? It is so boring. This is how we used to talk to each other. But then we realized the value of that today. How important it is. It's the consistent practice.
So did you learn light music and film music? I'm sorry, did you learn light music and classical music
Yeah,
separately,
actually,
or?
he taught us only classical music. Um, but singing other genres is something that we kind of developed on our own, in the sense because my mother used to sing a lot of light music songs, and she used to sing a
Oh,
lot of film
that
music
makes
songs also.
sense.
And she used to, like, sing lullabies to us when we were about to sleep, and music was part of our life when we were growing up. So because of that, we started developing an interest towards light music and film music. um, that is something that came on to us later in, like, teen life. That's when we started singing these other genres. But light music
So,
learning per se, I did learn, like a few months, about a 1 year worth of training from, I would say, three gurus. Okay, one is Palagumi Viswanathan Garu, and then Prekhya Anjaneya Sastry Garu, and then Mahabhashyam Chittaranjan Garu. So these three light music stalwarts, these are three legends in light music. Light music, when I say light music, Lalita Sangeetam. So whenever I went to India to perform in concerts, I used to learn, light music compositions from these three gurus. So I did learn from them for about a year worth of training. That's about it.
so your business partner, your singing partner, Mr. Krishna Prasad Garu, you and him have recently made an album, and prior to that, you
Mm-hmm.
guys have done
Oh
more
yeah, yeah.
albums. Would you guys like to
Oh yeah,
talk
sure,
about
sure,
those?
definitely.
Or would you like to talk about those? Sorry.
Yes.
Would you like to?
Actually, in addition to our academy, Naada Vinoda Music Academy, we also started a non-profit organization called Manam Us, or US Manam. Either way, I registered both. Manam, hyphen us, or US hyphen Manam. You can tell in the name itself, Manam means us. Manam US.
Yeah.
So we start
So it's kind of like
same thing.
a play on
Yes,
words.
yes. Okay, we started that non-profit organization simply because we wanted to promote the upcoming talent, or passionate talent that lives in the US. That's why Manam US. Okay, so we
Manam
focus
US,
on
right?
people who live here, the talent that lives in the US, and then try to promote them, and try to nurture them, try to teach them, and then bring them to the next level of singing. So in order to do that, especially amongst our students, and then that students that we come across through our workshops, the summer workshops, we have been selecting, youngsters who are, learning and with passion and then with devotion, and then showing really, really good progressive characteristics, and select them and then make albums with them. So we started doing that with Annamacharya Kirtan albums, and then we have done those two
Right.
already. The first one is Nive Garudavu Govinda. We featured 10 students in that. And then we did the second Annamacharya album, Allavade, which featured another 10 students. And then later on, which is a current ongoing project right now, another
Yes.
Annamacharya album with 11 students. And then we also did, which is actually still going on right now, we're releasing, song by song, a light music, light Telugu trendy light music album with another 9 students that we selected from our academy, and also the summer music workshops. The light music album, we took theme as our festivals. Okay, so for each festival,
Yeah, right.
we come up with a song that describes the festival, and then trendy music set to it. Okay,
Like the name is our roots, and
our
our
music and roots.
uh, our
Yeah.
music and our
So
roots. Right,
if
right.
I have to say that in Telugu, Mana Pata Panduga. So like, yeah,
Oh, okay. So another
yeah,
like play on
yeah.
words kind of.
So that what we've been doing with that album is that just before every festival, we are releasing a song pertinent to that festival. So you are part of that album. You did New Year's
Mm-hmm. The
New
New
Year's song,
Year's.
and
Yes.
it's been well received. A lot of people are enjoying that music, and we wanted to do a trendy music album because the music is catchy and people appreciate catchy tunes. And it's still, even though it is Telugu music, it is set to a trendy style which fits our generation kids, and they enjoy singing such songs. So, and also, why we are doing album production through our students is because they realize how important it is to sing with the details, and then they
Mm-hmm.
learn everything with notation, and not just the album songs, even in our regular classes also, whatever we teach only with notation. We teach it with notation so that they pick up easier, and they pick up with the details. Okay, so when you are
Mm-hmm.
singing in all these albums, so the same characteristic goes on. It makes you realize how important it is to pay attention to the details. And then you realize, oh, this is how deeply, how passionately, and how critically I have to look into songs.
Mm-hmm. There's so much that's going on behind the trendy simple drum beat and
Yep,
four chords. The background. There's
yep,
so much more
yep.
there
Yeah,
in a
it's
lot
it's,
of
it's
music.
not just something that you just quickly listen and forget. No, singing is altogether, it's a different ball game. There are
And
so many.
another thing about teaching with notation is you can look back years from now and you'll be like, I kind of forgot the tune.
Mhm.
Oh, look, I have the ragam, I have the notes.
Yep,
That's what I need.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, you just have to glance through, and then everything comes back to you.
What are some future projects that we can expect from Manam US or us and Nada Vinoda?
Yeah, sure. Well, Naada Vinoda Music Academy has been doing summer projects, like summer workshops, and we will continue to do that. Our idea is to reach as many kids of our heritage as possible, and then make them aware of our music, and then teach them good singing skills. So we will keep doing that, summer workshops and all that, whether it is online, with which we have done this summer, or online or in person. We'll keep doing it. And we'll keep on producing definitely all these albums, because there's so much talent out there. And we would like to focus on some media based projects. We are trying to plan those out, which we haven't done. All these things, they take a lot of time and a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
um, Money is always an issue, and time is always an issue, because you're so you know busy with teaching, and then preparing for the classes, and then singing for yourself, and then singing in programs, and as a
Right.
singer, there's very little time is there. But eventually we will get to doing some media productions as well, which is on the agenda for next years to come. And definitely we do have still our Annamacharya Kirtana project still needs to take off. We finished all the voice mixing and everything, but it is on hold because of the COVID situation in the world. So it's hard to get studios in India, and then making all the musicians come to the studio to do live mixing and all those things. Luckily, trendy music album, the groundwork was already done. That's the reason we were able to release one song by one song. But for the Annamacharya Kirtana album, it is still pending. We would like to finish that as soon as this COVID-19 situation comes under control. And of course, we want to combine our students' talents and then do some live stage shows as well. Obviously, you know, it's something that we cannot do now. But
Yeah,
definitely, that's one
right
of
now
the,
it's only Zoom concerts and things
yeah,
like that.
not just student concerts. We'd like to put some dance and music together because Manamas is established to promote both dance and music. So right now we're only able to focus on music aspect of it, but we want to combine dance also. You know, promote kids, you know, good talented dancers, and you know, take in that direction as well. So when I say live shows, it's not just singing. I want to combine both.
So thank you so much for coming as a guest on my podcast today. It was a really nice discussion. I really enjoyed it.
It's my pleasure, Karthik. I'm very
Thank
very
you.
happy to be part of it, and I'm really really enjoying all the good things that you're doing, and keep doing, and you're doing them really really well. For your
Thank
age,
you.
you are accomplishing a lot.
Thank you. You've been a wonderful teacher for the past
My
7 years, and your teaching style is also wonderful.
And
So thank you.
you've grown a lot as a singer yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, keep singing and keep practicing, keep learning, and keep doing all the good things that you are doing so well. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.